In the middle of nowhere, and then a bit farther, you'll find a small town that's known as McCarver. It's tough to get out there. It's a hard thing to do. There's just one little road, and it's a bumpy one, too. But rewarded you'll feel if you make the long jaunt. You'll find all the good things you ever could want. The folks in McCarver all help each other and care for their friends like a sister or brother. The people you'll meet are so friendly and kind. It's a great place to visit to relax and unwind. Meet Mayor Hogg. He's so proud of his town. "Just look what we have," he said, pointing round. "We love our small town," he bellowed with zest. "Of all the world's places, we think it's the best. McCarver's a place that we all hold so dear, and indeed it's my honor to welcome you here." One summer day, how late I don't know, the sky turned real dark and the wind it did blow. No one was worried, they'd seen storms before. To get 'em excited took a pretty good roar. But somehow that day it got their attention when sprinkles gave way to a mighty good drenching. 1 inch fell first, then 2, 3, and 4, and still it kept raining till they hoped for no more. Soon there was talk that a twister was sighted. Needless to say, the whole town got excited. Just moments later at the edge of their city, that twister appeared and it didn't look pretty. It twirled and it whirled and the dirt was a-flyin'. The people were scared, there could be no denying. To the safety of shelters each one of them flew. Men, women, kids, and cats and dogs too. The poppin' and snappin' and horrible sounds kept them all huddled just below ground. There were thunks and some thuds and a terrible crunch, and bangs and some clangs that scared 'em a bunch. It crashed and it bashed and it howled quite a while as that twister kept twisting mile after mile. The lights all went out and then popped on again. That happened 10 times before it would end. There was nothing to do but wait out the fury. It's safe to assume that they truly did worry. It seemed like an hour, but was really just minutes, till the storm had moved on and finished its business. Slowly but surely everyone reappeared to see the great damage each one of them feared. Imagine their thoughts when they all looked about, and with one mighty voice they gave a big shout. "Yahoo!" said the mayor, and Yahoo! Once again. Yahoos were heard loudly as they all joined in. They'd crawled from their shelters expecting to see the worst kind of crumpled and twisted debris. But instead they discovered a happy scene. Please keep on listening, you'll see what I mean. Paper and leaves and brush and dead bushes were blown far away by the turbulent whooshes. While roaring through town, the storm had kersplashed, and it cleaned all the cars and the trucks were all washed. Then someone screamed, "Hey, look on the hill at the field of the farm of old Farmer Bill." All the hay had been cut by the slashing of hail, and the whirling winds placed it bale beside bale. Then another man yelled, "Wow, look at our church! How did that steeple get up on its perch?" This was no minor thing, because before the storm blew, on the ground sat that steeple. The work wasn't through. The church wasn't done. It was under construction. The wind did the work, was the general deduction. On the east side of town, a large barn was missing. No doubt it was swallowed by that old twister's hissing. But across the dirt road in a nicely stacked stack was the wood from that barn the tornado attacked. Grady O'Brady, a farmer down south, stood there befuddled with a wide-open mouth. As he stared straight ahead at the field with the crowd, he saw 44 acres all perfectly plowed. Illness had kept him from plowing that year. There was no better time for a miracle to appear. The clothes on the clothesline near Aunt Beulah's house had all blown away, and she'd lost her best blouse. And along with her blouse, she was missing some pants. Would they ever be found? Could there be any chance? Well, imagine her smiles when she found the big stack of her clothes folded neatly on the doorstep out back. An old fishing pond way up by the tracks sat bone dry for years with big craggly cracks. But that little lake was now filled to the brim with fat little fishies all taking a swim. On the north side of town, not far from the schools, the people saw something that broke all the rules. Fred Hanson's old tractor had been rusting for years by the side of the road where it lost all its gears. But now it was sitting at the top of the pile at the new county dump down the road about a mile. Needless to say, the whole town was still reeling, so humble and thankful they surely were feeling. The town was much cleaner than before the storm hit, and the folks in McCarver didn't mind that a bit. No damage was found and the town had been spared. But how could this happen? It's like the storm cared. Then a little young lady, her name was Miss Jane, stepped up on a porch and began to explain. She asked all the people in that tiny town to bring their best smiles and gather around. She was only but 12, yet her voice never quivered. From atop her front porch, what a speech she delivered! When the stars up above all twinkle each night, I'd pick out the brightest of the sky's little lights. I wish and then wish some more, and I wish once again what I wished just before. And I wish for good things for all of us here, and I wish for good things each day of the year, and I wish for good grades, and I wish for nice toys, and I wish for big smiles for all girls and boys. I wish for good jobs for women and men, and I wish for these things and then wish 'em again. And I wish for good feelings, and I wish for good health, and I wish for good stuff for you and myself. Last night was no different for the wishing I did, and I'm not just a wishy old washy old kid. I wished really hard that we'd all be protected, that from really bad things we'd be unaffected. I'm so thankful the storm has passed us all by, and I'm thankful for stars beaming high in the sky, and I'm thankful for preachers and teachers and such, and other good people who help us so much. I'm grateful for wishes and a few happy thoughts. I'm grateful for you and all that we've got. I love our McCarver, and I love all of you, and that's my best reason for the wishing I do. By the time she had finished, the town was in tears, and they've all been so happy for many long years. Though McCarver was always a nice place to stay, it's even much nicer if you go there today. And a curious thing happened to the folks in that town. They keep their heads up and they rarely look down. They all seem to notice that night sky above, and those twinkling stars they've all come to love.